Struggling with leg strength after 50? Here's what's really happening, and how to take back control before it's too late. 1. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. There's a medical term for why those legs don't feel as strong anymore. It's called sarcopenia. This is the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that starts as early as the 30s and speeds up after 60. It doesn't just happen because of age alone, though. Lifestyle, nutrition, and activity level all play major roles. Sarcopenia shrinks and weakens muscle fibers over time. Think of muscles like ropes made of thousands of tiny fibers. As you get older, those fibers reduce in number and size. And without resistance training to stimulate them, they slowly fade. This leads to that unmistakable feeling of leg fatigue, especially noticeable during simple tasks like getting up from a chair or climbing a few steps. But here's the kicker. Sarcopenia isn't something to just accept. It's manageable. Resistance exercises, even light ones with bands or body weight, can reignite those muscle fibers. Think of moves like squats, wall sits, or step-ups. All effective and low impact. Just 2 to 3 sessions a week can make a world of difference. Nutrition matters just as much. Older adults often don't get enough protein. Lean meats, eggs, dairy, or even lentils and beans provide what the muscles need to rebuild and stay strong. A protein-rich breakfast, for instance, sets the tone for muscle repair throughout the day. Sarcopenia is common, but it doesn't have to define aging. Muscle can still grow after 50. It just needs the right attention. 2. Peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage. Ever felt tingling, numbness, or weakness creeping through your legs? It might not be poor circulation, it could be nerve damage. Peripheral neuropathy is a common condition among older adults, and it directly impacts strength and coordination in the legs. The peripheral nerves act like messengers between the brain, spinal cord, and muscles. When they're damaged, those messages don't get through clearly. One of the top culprits, diabetes. Chronically high blood sugar levels wear down nerve fibers over time, leading to sensations like burning, tingling, or numbness, especially in the feet and legs. But neuropathy isn't exclusive to diabetics. A deficiency in vitamin B12 is another major trigger. This vitamin plays a crucial role in keeping nerves healthy, and older adults often don't absorb enough from food due to changes in digestion or medications. This can silently erode nerve function, causing weakness that builds gradually. Managing peripheral neuropathy requires a two-pronged approach. First, address the root cause. For diabetics, that means tight blood sugar control through medication, food choices, and regular monitoring. For others, a simple blood test can reveal if B12 levels are low, and if so, supplements or diet adjustments can often reverse the symptoms. Second, movement matters. While numbness might make activity feel less stable, exercise actually improves circulation and nerve function. Gentle activities like walking, yoga, or even water-based workouts can stimulate healing and help maintain balance. Noticing changes in foot sensation, balance, or strength. It's worth bringing up with a healthcare provider. Nerve issues left unchecked can escalate, but caught early, they're very manageable. 3. Peripheral artery disease, PAD. Has walking ever left the legs feeling heavy, crampy, or just downright painful, only to feel better after resting? That could be more than fatigue. It might be a sign of peripheral artery disease, or PAD, a condition that affects the blood flow to the legs. PAD occurs when arteries that carry oxygen-rich blood to the limbs become narrowed due to plaque buildup. Think of it like a kinked hose. Less blood gets through, especially when the muscles are active and need more oxygen. The result? Cramping, weakness, or a burning ache during activities like walking, often called claudication. PAD is often underdiagnosed because people chalk it up to just aging or poor stamina, but recognizing it matters because it's not just a leg issue. It's a warning sign of systemic circulation problems, including in the heart. The good news? Lifestyle changes can make a huge difference. Walking programs, even if the first few steps are uncomfortable, actually help create new blood pathways over time. These collateral vessels can bypass the blockages and restore better flow. Quitting smoking is absolutely critical. It's one of the biggest risk factors for PAD. So is controlling blood pressure and cholesterol, both of which impact how arteries function. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in healthy fats, leafy greens, and whole grains supports vascular health from the inside out. PAD is manageable, but it's one of those conditions that responds best when caught early. So if leg discomfort shows up with activity and eases with rest, it's worth checking out. Simple tests like an ankle brachial index can give clarity, and from there, the path to stronger, healthier legs becomes clearer. 4. Vitamin D deficiency. Muscle weakness, especially in the legs, isn't always about physical activity. Sometimes it's chemical, or more specifically, nutritional. One of the biggest culprits hiding in plain sight, vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D does more than support bones. It also helps muscles contract and function properly. Without enough of it, muscles lose strength and coordination. That's why vitamin D deficiency has been directly linked to increased risk of falls in older adults. After 50, the body becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. Add to that the fact many older adults spend less time outdoors, and it's easy to see why this deficiency is so common. On top of that, the kidneys, which help activate vitamin D, also slow down with age. So what can be done? Sunlight remains a great source, even with age. Just 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure on arms and face a few times a week can help. But this alone might not be enough for everyone. Food sources step in as backup. Fatty fish like salmon, fortified dairy products, egg yolks, and cereals are solid options. For those with dietary restrictions or limited outdoor exposure, supplements may be necessary, but only under the guidance of a healthcare provider. Vitamin D also enhances calcium absorption, which is critical for maintaining bone integrity. So its benefits go beyond just preventing weakness. It's about protecting against fractures too. If leg weakness feels out of proportion to activity level, or if balance issues appear without a clear cause, checking vitamin D levels is a smart move. Restoring those levels can result in better muscle tone, improved confidence on the move, and fewer unexpected stumbles. 5. Sedentary lifestyle. The saying, "use it or lose it," rings painfully true when it comes to leg strength. One of the most overlooked, yet completely preventable, reasons legs grow weaker after 50 is simply not using them enough. A sedentary lifestyle slowly erodes muscle over time. Whether it's sitting for hours watching TV, spending long days behind a desk, or avoiding physical activity altogether, the result is the same. The muscles start to shrink. It doesn't happen overnight, but weeks and months of inactivity add up quickly. When muscles aren't challenged, they atrophy, meaning they waste away. And since the legs bear the brunt of movement and weight, they're often the first to show signs. Balance suffers, stamina fades, and even simple tasks like getting out of a chair feel harder. The fix? It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about moving consistently. Walking is a powerful tool and one of the easiest. A brisk walk daily gets the heart pumping, the blood flowing, and the legs engaged. Gentle exercises like Tai Chi and swimming are perfect too. They improve muscle tone and balance without stressing the joints. Resistance bands or light dumbbells at home can also add strength, especially when paired with moves like seated leg lifts or wall squats. Breaking up long periods of sitting with short walks around the house or a few stretches can also keep the muscles engaged throughout the day. Staying active doesn't mean high intensity, it means regularity. Consistent movement sends the message. These legs are still in the game, and that message can help prevent a cascade of mobility issues down the line. 6. Osteoarthritis, degenerative joint disease. If the knees or hips have been aching more often, especially when moving or after a long day, it could be more than simple wear and tear. It might be osteoarthritis, often called the wear and tear arthritis. This condition affects millions of older adults and is a leading cause of leg weakness after 50. Osteoarthritis occurs when the cartilage, the cushiony material between joints, breaks down over time. Without that smooth layer, bones rub against each other. The result? Pain, stiffness, swelling, and reduced movement in the affected joints. The impact on leg strength comes from what happens next. People instinctively avoid moving painful joints. That leads to less activity, which causes the muscles around those joints, especially in the thighs and calves, to weaken. Over time, this cycle of pain and disuse contributes to a noticeable loss in leg function. But this doesn't mean stopping movement altogether. In fact, the opposite is true. Gentle, joint-friendly exercises can actually protect joints and strengthen the surrounding muscles. Swimming, cycling, and water aerobics are excellent because they're low impact but effective in improving mobility. Strength training is also crucial. Even small exercises like seated leg lifts or mini squats can help build the muscle support needed around arthritic joints. Stronger muscles absorb more shock, meaning less stress on the joints themselves. Managing osteoarthritis goes beyond exercise. Anti-inflammatory foods such as berries, fatty fish, nuts, and leafy greens can help reduce joint inflammation naturally. In some cases, medications or joint injections prescribed by a healthcare provider can relieve pain and allow for more movement. Osteoarthritis might be common with age, but it doesn't have to steal mobility. With the right mix of activity, strength work, and care, it's entirely possible to maintain strong, reliable legs. 7th, medication-induced myopathy. Not every case of leg weakness comes from natural aging or physical inactivity. Sometimes, the culprit is sitting right in the medicine cabinet. Certain prescription drugs, especially in older adults, can unintentionally weaken muscles, a condition known as medication-induced myopathy. Statins, commonly prescribed to lower cholesterol, are one of the top offenders. While they do a great job protecting the heart, in some people, they can cause muscle pain, cramping, or weakness. This often starts in the legs and can make daily movement uncomfortable or even intimidating. But statins aren't the only ones. Corticosteroids, used for inflammation or autoimmune conditions, certain antidepressants, and even some medications for blood pressure or cancer can also contribute to muscle loss over time. This doesn't mean these medications are bad, far from it. They save lives and manage serious conditions. But it's important to stay alert. If new weakness or soreness appears after starting a medication, that's worth a conversation with a doctor or pharmacist. Sometimes a dosage adjustment or switching to a different drug can solve the problem. In other cases, supportive strategies like adding a muscle-friendly supplement with your provider's guidance or increasing activity can help counterbalance the effects. The key here is awareness. Many people endure leg pain or fatigue thinking it's just part of getting older, when in reality, the answer could lie in the fine print on a pill bottle. Keeping an updated list of all medications and sharing it with every healthcare provider ensures that muscle-related side effects are considered during every checkup. Strength matters, and no medication should take that away unnecessarily. 8. Osteoporosis and fractures. Bones and muscles go hand in hand, especially when it comes to staying upright and strong. When bones become fragile, as in osteoporosis, the risk of fractures rises dramatically. And nothing can zap leg strength faster than a hip or spine fracture. Osteoporosis literally means porous bones. It's a silent condition that often develops without symptoms until something breaks. After age 50, especially in postmenopausal women, bones can start losing density. Combine that with a minor fall, and it can result in a break that leads to bed rest, muscle atrophy, and a long road to recovery. The cycle is dangerous. Weaker bones lead to more falls, and fractures lead to less movement, which weakens the muscles even more. But like many conditions on this list, osteoporosis can be managed, and in many cases, prevented. Calcium and vitamin D are the building blocks of strong bones. Dairy, leafy greens, and fortified foods can help. But for many older adults, supplements may be necessary to hit daily targets. Resistance exercises also stimulate bone building. Think of it like this: every time a muscle pulls on a bone, it tells that bone to stay strong. Weight-bearing exercises like walking, climbing stairs, or light strength training are especially effective. Even simple balance exercises, like standing on one leg while holding onto a counter, can help prevent falls. Regular bone density scans, DEXA tests after 50, especially for women, can identify thinning bones before a fracture ever happens. And if osteoporosis is diagnosed, medications like bisphosphonates may be prescribed to help strengthen bones and lower fracture risk. The takeaway? Strong bones support strong legs, and together, they form the foundation for an active, independent life. 9. Obesity and sarcopenic obesity. Carrying extra weight doesn't just affect the heart, it puts a direct and constant strain on the legs. The combination of obesity and muscle loss, known as sarcopenic obesity, is especially tough on the lower body. Here's how it works. As muscle mass decreases with age, it's often replaced by fat. But when fat builds up around and inside muscles, it disrupts how they function. Add to that the extra weight the legs have to carry, and everyday activities can become exhausting. Walking, bending, even standing for long periods can start to feel like a workout. Obesity also increases inflammation throughout the body, which can further degrade muscles and joints. And the heavier someone is, the more likely they are to avoid physical activity, which accelerates muscle loss. It's a vicious cycle. But there's good news. Even modest weight loss can make a noticeable difference. Dropping just 5 to 10% of body weight reduces the load on joints and allows muscles to work more efficiently. And when weight loss is paired with resistance training, that's when real transformation happens. The focus isn't on drastic diets or high-impact workouts. It's on consistent, sustainable habits. Choosing nutrient-dense foods, staying hydrated, and aiming for gentle but regular movement helps chip away at both fat and muscle decline. Sarcopenic obesity may sound complex, but the fix is straightforward. Support the muscles, reduce the burden, and prioritize quality food and movement. That combo gives the legs a fighting chance to stay strong, no matter the number on the scale. 10. Stroke. Cerebrovascular accident. When thinking about a stroke, most people imagine speech trouble or memory loss. But one of the most common and often overlooked long-term effects, weakness or paralysis, especially in the legs. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of the brain is blocked or reduced. Without oxygen, brain cells begin to die within minutes. If the area affected controls motor function, especially the pathways tied to the legs, the result is often a noticeable drop in strength, balance, and coordination, usually affecting one side of the body more than the other. This condition, called hemiparesis, can make walking, standing, or even sitting up a challenge. People may feel like their leg isn't cooperating, drags behind, or simply doesn't have the power it used to. But the recovery potential is stronger than many expect. Rehabilitation is the game changer. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, and sometimes speech therapy all work together to restore independence. Therapists guide patients through exercises that rebuild the connection between brain and muscles, sometimes using mirror therapy, balance training, or virtual reality tools to stimulate neural rewiring. Even something as simple as practicing standing from a chair or taking assisted steps can reignite dormant pathways in the brain. Consistency is key. Recovery often takes months, sometimes years, but regular movement, even small ones, tells the brain this limb still matters. Mobility aids like walkers or braces can offer support while strength and control rebuild. Prevention remains just as crucial. Regular blood pressure checks, managing atrial fibrillation, avoiding smoking, and keeping blood sugar under control are powerful steps. And nutrition, it's a frontline tool. Leafy greens, berries, whole grains, and fatty fish all support brain health and reduce stroke risk. A stroke can change leg strength in a moment, but with the right care, support, and persistence, many people regain far more mobility than they ever thought possible. 11th. Hormonal changes. Decline in estrogen, testosterone. After 50, something major shifts in the body. Hormone levels begin to decline, and that shift can directly affect muscle strength, especially in the legs. Testosterone in men and estrogen in women do far more than regulate mood or metabolism. These hormones are critical for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and overall physical vitality. When levels dip, typically after menopause in women and gradually in men starting in their 40s and 50s, the body's ability to sustain strength, energy, and recovery takes a noticeable hit. In women, estrogen also supports collagen production, which affects both muscle elasticity and joint integrity. As levels fall, muscles may feel stiffer, less responsive, and more prone to soreness. Men, on the other hand, may experience declining testosterone, which affects muscle protein synthesis. Essentially, the body's ability to maintain and rebuild tissue. The result? Muscles start to shrink, especially in the legs and hips, where strength is most needed for balance and mobility. While hormone replacement therapy, HRT, exists and may be an option for some, it's not suitable for everyone and should only be considered with the guidance of a healthcare provider. Fortunately, there are natural ways to help support hormonal balance and reduce the muscle loss associated with aging. Consistent resistance training has been shown to naturally increase testosterone levels and improve estrogen metabolism. Just 2 to 3 strength sessions a week can stimulate muscle-building hormones and improve neuromuscular control. In fact, weight-bearing movements like squats, step-ups, and lunges not only strengthen the legs, but also send signals to the brain that these muscles still matter, prompting the body to maintain them. Sleep is another major player. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone, which aids muscle repair and hormonal regulation. Poor sleep disrupts this process and can accelerate hormone-related muscle loss. Nutrition also plays a major role. Zinc, vitamin D, and B vitamins support testosterone and estrogen balance. Healthy fats, like those found in nuts, seeds, olive oil, and oily fish, are also crucial because hormones are synthesized from cholesterol-based compounds. Without these building blocks, hormone production can dip even lower. Also worth noting, chronic stress increases cortisol, a hormone that actively breaks down muscle tissue and disrupts hormonal balance. Practicing stress reduction techniques like breathing exercises, meditation, or even light outdoor walks can help calm the nervous system and support overall hormonal harmony. It's easy to dismiss fatigue or weakness as just getting older. But if leg strength starts fading alongside mood changes, poor sleep, or unexplained weight gain, hormones may be playing a bigger role than expected. The encouraging part? With the right attention to movement, food, rest, and medical support, the body can adjust and remain strong, energized, and mobile well beyond 50. 12th, chronic venous insufficiency, CVI. Ever notice swollen ankles or heavy legs at the end of the day? This could be more than just tiredness. It might be a condition known as chronic venous insufficiency, or CVI. It's surprisingly common in older adults and often flies under the radar, slowly contributing to leg weakness. CVI happens when the veins in the legs can't push blood back up to the heart effectively. Normally, tiny valves in the veins act like gates, keeping blood moving in the right direction, upward. But with age, injury, or prolonged inactivity, those valves can weaken or fail. When that happens, gravity takes over and blood starts to pool in the lower legs. This leads to pressure, swelling, aching, and that dragging feeling often described as leg heaviness. Over time, the tissues and muscles around those sluggish veins don't get enough oxygen or nutrients. They weaken. So even walking short distances or standing in line can become exhausting. Fortunately, there are simple, effective ways to support circulation. Compression stockings gently squeeze the legs, encouraging upward blood flow and reducing swelling. Elevating the legs above heart level, using a pillow while resting or lying down, also reduces pressure and encourages drainage. Movement is essential. Even just flexing the ankles, doing heel-to-toe rocks, or taking short walks around the house can activate the calf muscles, which act as a natural pump for the veins. This is sometimes called the second heart of the body. That's how important the calf muscle is to circulation. Carrying extra weight can also put stress on veins, so weight management and calf strengthening exercises are powerful tools in the long-term strategy. If left untreated, CVI can worsen. Skin can become discolored, itchy, or even break down into painful ulcers. But the condition is manageable, and early intervention makes all the difference. A simple duplex ultrasound can help a healthcare provider assess the flow of blood and catch any issues before they become severe. Swelling and heaviness in the legs aren't just annoyances, they're messages from the body. Listening early can lead to stronger, healthier legs, and a more active lifestyle. 13. Dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. It's easy to overlook, but sometimes leg weakness stems from something as simple as dehydration, especially when it teams up with electrolyte imbalances. Muscles need water and the right balance of minerals like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sodium to function properly. These minerals control everything from muscle contractions to nerve signaling. When they're out of balance, even slightly, it can lead to cramping, fatigue, twitching, and that all too familiar shaky, drained feeling in the legs. Older adults are particularly at risk. As the body ages, the natural sense of thirst dulls, making it easier to skip fluids without even realizing it. Add to that medications like diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart failure, and it's easy to see how the system can become depleted. These medications, while necessary, flush both fluid and electrolytes out of the body. A hot day, a salty meal, or even an illness with mild dehydration can be enough to tip the balance and trigger symptoms. Legs that feel suddenly tired, weak, or prone to cramps might not be about aging. They might just be thirsty. The fix starts with awareness. Keeping a refillable water bottle nearby can make a big difference. Don't wait until thirst hits. By then, dehydration has often already started. And it's not just about water. Foods like watermelon, oranges, spinach, and bell peppers can hydrate and replenish minerals at the same time. For those exercising or on medications that dehydrate, electrolyte drinks, ideally low in sugar, can provide a healthy boost. Even a pinch of salt with lemon in warm water can help maintain electrolyte levels. In cases of persistent symptoms or when muscle cramping becomes frequent, it's wise to consult a doctor and possibly test electrolyte levels. This is especially important for those managing kidney or heart issues, where fluid balance is more complex. Hydration might sound like a small issue, but it plays a massive role in muscle function and energy levels. Keeping water and electrolyte levels balanced can lead to steadier, stronger legs and more confident steps every single day. 14. Chronic pain and fear of movement. Pain is a powerful teacher, and sometimes it teaches people to stop moving altogether. Chronic pain, especially in the joints or spine, often leads to something called kinesiophobia, a fear of movement. Unfortunately, this fear can lead straight to muscle loss, particularly in the legs. When movement becomes associated with discomfort, people naturally begin avoiding it. It might start small, skipping stairs, taking the elevator more often, or sitting a little longer each day. But what begins as protection slowly becomes limitation. Over time, that avoidance turns into a pattern, and the legs, no longer used or challenged, begin to weaken. Balance declines. Walking becomes harder, and confidence starts to erode. The irony? The very thing that would help, movement, is what many feel afraid to do. Breaking this cycle doesn't mean jumping back into strenuous activity. It starts with safe, supportive movement. Low-impact exercises like Tai Chi, water aerobics, chair yoga, or guided stretching offer pain relief and help restore muscle strength without overloading the joints. They also promote blood flow, ease stiffness, and help lubricate the joints naturally. Even small amounts of movement done regularly can shift the body and brain out of protection mode. And don't underestimate the role of the mind. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, breathing techniques, and mindfulness have been shown to reduce fear responses tied to pain. These tools help reframe the belief that movement equals harm, turning it instead into a path toward recovery. Some people also benefit from using heat or cold therapy before movement, or starting with assisted movement devices like walkers or resistance bands. These tools build trust between the body and brain, showing that it's safe to move again. Improvements often appear faster than expected. 15. Sleep disorders, sleep apnea, insomnia. Sleep and leg strength might seem unrelated at first, but there's a strong connection. Poor sleep, whether from insomnia, sleep apnea, or restless nights, can significantly weaken the body's ability to repair and maintain muscle. During sleep, especially deep sleep, the body releases growth hormones that help rebuild muscle tissue, regulate metabolism, and support immune function. Without adequate rest, muscles don't recover properly and energy levels tank. This can lead to sluggish legs, slower reaction times, and a higher risk of falls. Sleep apnea is particularly problematic. This condition causes repeated pauses in breathing during sleep, disrupting the normal sleep cycle and reducing oxygen supply. Over time, this chronic oxygen shortage can affect cardiovascular health, muscle endurance, and cognitive function, all of which influence mobility. Even basic insomnia, where sleep is too short or broken, can create a lingering sense of fatigue that discourages movement the next day. Less movement equals more weakness, and the cycle continues. Another lesser-known effect of poor sleep: inflammation. Lack of restful sleep has been linked to increased inflammation in the body, which can aggravate joint pain and reduce muscle recovery. This can compound feelings of leg heaviness and make movement more uncomfortable than it needs to be. The first step is awareness. Feeling unusually tired during the day, waking up gasping, or with a dry mouth. These could be red flags for sleep apnea. A sleep study can offer a diagnosis, and solutions like CPAP machines or oral devices can dramatically improve sleep quality. Simple habits also help. Keeping a regular bedtime, limiting caffeine late in the day, avoiding screens before sleep, and ensuring a quiet, dark room can all promote deeper rest. Even stress plays a role. Elevated stress hormones like cortisol can disrupt sleep patterns, so adding calming evening rituals like reading, gentle stretching, or listening to soft music can help the body wind down. Better sleep fuels stronger legs. It gives the muscles the rest they need, the hormones they depend on, and the energy to keep moving. Don't underestimate the power of a good night's rest. It might just be the missing piece in the fight against leg weakness. So what's the takeaway here? Leg weakness after 50 isn't a mystery, and it isn't inevitable. The reasons behind it are real, often interconnected, but also highly manageable. Whether it's sarcopenia, poor circulation, hormonal shifts, or lifestyle habits, every single cause on this list has an actionable solution. Start by choosing just one or two of these 15 strategies. Maybe it's adding more protein to meals, going for a short daily walk, checking vitamin D levels, or simply getting more rest. These small steps create powerful change. Strong legs mean more than movement. They mean freedom, safety, and quality of life. And the journey to stronger legs starts today. Was this guide helpful? Drop a comment below and share which reason stood out the most, or which step you're planning to take next. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss tips on living well and aging strong. Together, let's keep every step confident, steady, and strong.